Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler for each series of videos I've been doing for a little while. I go over there to try out food and drink items. I eat stuff and drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff that time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. I've reviewed so many things from this particular location, I've had to go over there and start keeping a list. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there, I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I am inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. And yeah, that's definitely the case today. And for longtime viewers of my show, you might already know where this whole thing is about to go. But for the new folks, so you see, I have a job, as many people do. I'm fortunate to have it. I count myself lucky in that regard. But at the same time, I put in the work, I do the stuff. And there are days, man, where they just test me, just circumstances and, just decisions made by people. They can push me a little bit. And typically, when I have a day like that, when I get off of work, I want to go over there and treat myself to something a little nice and cool, a little frozen treat. Even though at the time I'm doing this, it's like 12 degrees out. I don't care. I need something frozen and sweet to make me feel good inside. This might do that. So what is it? Where is it from? What are we doing here? Well, folks, it happens to be from, boom, Tropical Smoothie Cafe. And again, if you watch my channel, you know I reviewed plenty of stuff from Tropical Smoothie Cafe. I actually have, I've reviewed so many things that I actually have an entire playlist called Tropical Smoothie Cafe Reviews. So, if you're interested. But what is this? This is their Island Green Smoothie, which consists of spinach, kale, mango, pineapple, yeah, and banana. All right. So, 3 out of 5, right? Like, that's got to be better than nothing. Sure. They also have a detox version, too, which I guess is, like, not artificially sweetened or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'll review it one day. Not today, though. Oh, boy. And you can see, it's very green. Look at how green it is. Let's get a thing for the thing here real quick, and let's try to emphasize the green. Looks like that. Ha 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 ha. And let's try out some kale. Ooh. Okay. Okay. This is reminding me of the fresh smoothies that they make at like Whole Foods. And those usually don't taste very good because, like, yeah, they're freshly made, but they tend to have ingredients that are not conducive to tasting that good in a smoothie. Okay. It's not terrible, but it's definitely a bit of a battle. Because on the one hand, you have like the nice, fresh, delicious, sweet fruits. They're trying their best to make this an appetizing smoothie. On the other side, you've got the spinach and especially the kale, which are trying their damnedest to keep it kind of healthy or something, but like, yeah. The spinach actually isn't too terrible. Like, I like spinach, so I can kind of get along with that part of it for the most part. It's a little bit obtrusive in a sweet smoothie atmosphere, but, again, I can kind of go with it. The kale is definitely what fucks it, because the kale doesn't taste good. And we all know it doesn't taste good. It's just maybe healthy, I'm pretty sure it's going to turn out that it causes... Remember, like, years ago when people were bitching about saying that cell phones were going to go over there and cause brain cancer, and, yeah, you shouldn't use cell phones. Yeah, how'd that one work out for you? It's got to be kale, right? It had to be fucking... And you know what? Now that I do that, I make that little joke, I'm almost certain I heard that joke from a comedian years ago. So I apologize in that regard. Like, I'm not trying to rip anybody off or anything like that. Just every now and again, just gets blurred together in my brain. But back to the smoothie and me not trying to steal other people's jokes, like Dane Cook. I mean, it's honestly pretty nice. I'll say this, it tastes fresh. It has that much going for it for sure. It's got a good flavor, and the flavors blend together pretty well. Like, you do get spurts of flavor, like individual flavors. The kale and the spinach kind of blend, but the kale is a little bit more leafy, I guess. Like, it's a little bit too earthy. And whereas, like, the mango is a nice choice because, it's a nice tropical thing. It blends well with pineapple. Mango by itself also has a little bit of an earthiness, too. So I almost feel like that's the one that's bridging the whole thing because it's got the sweetness, but it's also got the earthiness. I almost would have preferred something like maybe orange to mango, but it's nice. I mean, I say this, but I could say it for almost anything. I wish there was more pineapple playing into it for sure. Because I do think that the pineapple, I mean, it's the best fruit. That just is what it is. I think the pineapple is doing the bulk of the work when it comes to the sweeter end and the more tropical vibe. Because banana is a more mellow thing. It's delicious. It's super tasty. But I feel like, the mango and the pineapple, they're the more tropical end of it. The banana, it's kind of, it's there. It's kind of sweetening things up a little bit. But I think a little bit more pineapple. Well, again, it's me. I always want more pineapple. But I do think a little bit more pineapple would have gone over there, swayed it a little bit more in my favor. But it's not bad. It's definitely not my favorite smoothie I've had from Tropical Smoothie Cafe, but it's also not my least favorite. So it is what it is. But all that said, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Maybe and kind of. Like, again, it is what it is. And, it's not fair for me to go over there and gauge it against, the more traditionally sweet smoothies that I've had. Because it's obviously not that. It's, it is that thing where, again, there's sort of like a quasi-healthy aspect to it with the spinach and the kale. So, I have to take it for what it is. Because it's not trying to hide anything. And what it is a pretty good smoothie. Like, the flavors are decent. They work well enough together. I do feel like there's enough on both ends of the spectrum. Again, the more leafy aspect, the more tropical aspect. I feel like there's enough on both ends that, neither side completely loses out. I personally, again, would like a little bit more on the tropical side to just sway it oh so slightly. But, again, it's not that type of smoothie. So the question then becomes, is what it's doing working towards making it just an overall nice smoothie experience? And I would say yes. And I don't mind the flavors and stuff. Maybe every now and again I would pick it up. If I'm recommending it, it really depends on what kind of smoothie you want. Again, if you want the more sort of Whole Foods type smoothie, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, this might do you. It's tasty. There's nothing to actively dislike about it. Even with the, again, more sort of leafy aspects with the kale and stuff, it's not abrasive. It's just, it's limiting is a better way to put it, I feel, because it limits the potential of the sweeter things. But, again, it's not a bad thing. And if it's one of those things where you've seen it on the menu and you've thought to yourself, maybe, go the fuck ahead. I don't think you'll actively dislike it. So, even with kale. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there, have yourselves a truly, it's so cold today, tastic rest of your life. Even me, who hates the heat. It's like, ugh, it's super cold and it's windy. It sucks. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully, do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, what's your take on kale? You know, like, yeah, it's just not, it's not great, in my opinion. It's one of those things, I mean, look, if it's healthy, cool, but it's just, it doesn't taste very good. And here's a better question for you. If you know what comedian I happen to have accidentally quasi-ripped that bit off from, let me know, because, like, I remember it, and as I was saying it, as I was going through it in my head, I was like, this seems too familiar. Why does this seem so familiar? And I was like, shit, I'm pretty sure that I remember this from, like, when I was probably in, like, middle school. I used to watch a shitload of Comedy Central and stuff, so, again, apologies on that one. I try not to recycle somebody else's material, but anyway, bye!